Good morning, boys and girls. So today we are going to read the story Sam Sings. As we read this story, we are going to pay attention to special details that the author has put in the story. As we read, we will ask questions. Okay? Sam Sings by Stephanie Garris. Sam knew lots of words to lots of songs. He started the day with a song the moment he jumped out of bed. He sometimes sang while brushing his teeth. At school, he hummed to himself during tests. It seemed to him, it seemed to help him concentrate. Sam even sang in the grocery store. No matter where he was or what he was doing, he was always singing, humming, or whistling. Sam was born to sing. That's what everyone thought, and that's what Sam thought too. At least, that's what he thought until Friday, February 23rd. On Friday, February 23rd at 11:03 a.m., Sam's teacher, Mrs. Norris, announced that the second grade would be doing a spring musical. She said that everyone in the class was welcome to sing a solo. So let's stop there, and I have a question for you. Why was the date February 23rd important to Sam? Well, that's when he heard about the musical. And that's probably when he decided he might not be born to sing. Sam looked around as hands shot up. Even Alex, Sam's best friend, had raised his hand. The same Alex who said he couldn't sing a note in it if his life depended on it. Sam looked to see if Laura, who was very shy, had her hand up. She did. Everyone in the class wanted to sing a solo in the musical. Hands were waving like crazy, but Sam's hands were stuck like glue to his lap. Mrs. Norris told Sam he could think about it over the weekend. She was hoping he might change his mind. So Sam thought about it on Saturday as he helped his dad wash the car. He thought about it while he made cookies with his big sisters, and he thought about it all during his piano lesson. But by Saturday evening, he still hadn't changed his mind. On Sunday, Sam thought about it some more. In fact, he hardly thought of anything else. And when he went to bed that night, Sam realized he hadn't sung, whistled, or even hummed all weekend long. So what did Sam do over the weekend? He washed the car, he made cookies, he had a piano lesson, and thought about his decision. What didn't he do? He didn't sing, whistle, or hum because thinking about the program made him worry too much to enjoy music. Monday morning, Mrs. Norris took Sam aside just before reading class. He knew what she was going to ask. She looked disappointed when he gave his answer, but she told him not to worry and said she understood. The second graders practiced the musical for weeks. Sam knew all the solos by heart and sang them to himself every night in bed. Sometimes he wished he had raised his hand like everyone else, but singing in front of an audience was different from singing in a grocery store or at the park. The big night finally arrived. Sam was excited, even though he had only a small speaking part. He said his one line clearly and didn't forget a single word. He sang loudly with the rest of the class and knew from his parents' smiles that they could hear him. Alex sang a short solo. His voice was a little shaky, but Sam felt proud of his best friend. Laura's turn was next. Sam liked her voice best of all. But as the pianist played the first few notes of her solo, not a sound came from Laura. Sam looked at her. Her face was as white as a sheet. Sam knew he had to do something. anything. And so he sang. At first he sang quietly and sounded shaky like Alex. But soon his voice grew smoother and stronger. Then he heard a soft, sweet sound. He looked over at Laura and saw that she was singing too. And like Sam, her voice grew stronger and stronger. Laura and Sam sang as if they had been practicing for weeks. So, what made Sam think he needed to start singing? Laura didn't make a sound, and her face was white, just like a sheet. The audience clapped and clapped. Sam decided he liked the sound of applause almost as much as Laura's sweet voice. And on his way home, he sang and sang and sang. So, what two sounds did Sam decide he liked? He liked the sound of Laura's voice and the sound of applause. Okay, so good job listening to this story, and I will talk to you later.